Hello, lovely SPOOKtators.
Ooh.
Welcome to a special episode of Film Fights, where we have a spooktacular surprise for you.
Oh, that's right, from the spooky vaults of last year. We have a franchise frenzy for Spookoween.
Ooh, here's spooking at you, kiddies, because we will be talking about all the Texas Chainsaw movies.
All the Texas Chainsaw Massacre spookvies? Spookvies? Does that work, Jono?
Spookvies?
Yeah, it's like a movie, but it's spooky.
Are we nailing the fact that we're saying spooky a lot? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Film Fights. I am your fearless host, Jono Rodriguez. And with me, of course, is my chainsaw-wielding, brain-balling building, my boom-bastic, Mr. Fantastic, telephone booty-doo-doo-doo-doo, Shaggy Saw guy pretending to be of, which is apropos because he is a guy named Conrad Hartman.
Hey, Jono.
Oh, is that what are you speaking gibberish? What's going on?
That was either a really bad phone ring or it was the sound of a chainsaw.
Oh my God, a chainsaw phone that when it rings.
Okay, so not to jump right into it, but the survivors of chainsaw massacres, that would be like a funny prank to play on them, to like change their ringtone to be a chainsaw and watch them like, you know,
PTSD.
Yeah. It's like, you know, it's fun. You have friends that are veterans and you set their alarms to be like bomb sounds.
No, but the thing is, they have their ringer on silent and they say PTS don't. Okay.
You know what's funny though is checkmate, because if they have their phone on vibrate on the table,
on a metal table,
it still sounds like a chainsaw.
And then they try to reach for the phone, but the friend grabs the hand and says, "No, wait."
I need this.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
Jono, how are you doing?
Me?
I'm trying to be better about asking.
Oh my goodness. New segment.
Yeah, new segment. How's Jono doing?
Fine.
Music.
Hey now everybody, hey now everybody, hey now everybody now.
Conrad, what do we do on the show? And gosh darn, how come it's taken so long to do an episode?
Well, Jono, here on Film Fights, what we normally do is we pick two movies and we pit them against one another in a brutal grudge match, with one coming out on top to reign supreme. This year, a lot of folks been on the struggle bus. We've been on the working bus.
Yeah.
So we've been going to Sad Town.
Well, that's where the bus goes.
We're still on a season break, but we felt like last Halloween times we did some franchise frenzies. I keep doing this with my arm, which you lovely spectators cannot see.
You can't see it, but I'm here for it. Okay.
But you know, we could not let the special spoopy holidays pass without doing you justice with another franchise frenzy.
No, yeah, we had to.
Which means we watched not one, not two,
no,
not three,
criminal,
but four.
Oh my God,
movies in this series.
Only?
Because they're the only four that matter.
Yes.
The first four in the original series that are continuous without a remake. I'm talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't clear by my bad alarm jokes.
Well, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's not mince words here, okay? It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They dropped the after the fourth one.
Oh, yeah, so we're only doing the thes. Oh, actually, no, the fourth one doesn't have a... Oh, it has a "the" in the subtitle, The Next Generation.
Yes.
It's like Star Trek.
It's Star Trek Massacre. Oh my God, Picard.
So what we'll be doing, instead of picking one movie to reign supreme, we will be putting them in our order of quality at the end of of this.
We're talking about the Texas Chainsaw movies, Massacre.
So we're going to start with number 1. It's called, you guessed it, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's called Rosemary's Baby.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974, directed by Tobe Hooper. I think it was 74.
Tobe Hooper.
He was French.
Yeah,
Wait, he's not dead. I don't know why it's...
it's actually Tobe Hooper.
Tobe Hooper.
Hooper. Oh yeah, it is 74. Sorry. It's Tobe Hooper. It's just Tobe.
Yeah.
They spelled, like, when they wrote his birth certificate, they tried to write a Y, but they got chainsawed when they were doing it. So it came out as an E.
These silly Americans misusing the accent aigu. So this is like the one of the scary
slasher.
Hillbilly.
Oh yeah.
Don't get accidentally stuck in Texas, y'all, because you're gonna get barbecued.
Yeah. Very shoestring budget.
Yeah. So their reports are between 80 and 120 grand, which even in 1974 was nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, that's like enough to like go to the Five and Dime and buy a ham bag.
It's enough to go to the Five and Dime and buy the Five and Dime.
Okay, that's actually pretty. If you own the Five and Dime, you're probably doing okay.
Yeah.
You got your ham monocle. It's made out of ham.
It's only 15 cents.
Anyone with 15 cents, man, they change hands a lot.
Oh yeah.
So this movie, the premise is some dum-dums are in a van and they're like, hey, let's go to Texas.
No, the story is these dum-dums are like, my daddy used to own a house in nowhere. Let's go there and like go to the pool and have sex. And they go there.
Well, hang on. So we've got 2 couples and Wheelchair Man. Now, before you think I'm making fun of the fact that he's in a wheelchair, it's not that he's in a wheelchair. It's that he sucks.
Yeah. If you've seen this movie, you are like, yeah, you don't have to explain the no sympathy for wheelchair guy because he sucks.
Yeah. So for sensitivity to those less mobily inclined, we'll call him
complainy.
Yeah, so he is just bitching the whole time.
God, yeah.
And this movie opens with like, oh, scary graveside, and someone put bodies around in a scary way for some reason.
They did morte de art.
Oh yeah, that's what they call. Oh well, someone did that Morty art over there.
Well, I mean, opening your movie with first off, John Larroquette, who reportedly was paid in weed to do that voiceover.
John Larroquette of Night Court fame.
Night Court fame, yeah. Yeah, Tobe Hooper was watching Night Court, getting cracked up, He's like, oh, it's my favorite show. I want that guy to voice over my fucking show, my movie. So yeah, but after that you hear...
Night Court came out after this, right? In the 80s, I think.
Oh my God, are you saying Chainsaw
this is
kicked off his career?
Yeah, someone was like, so it's
His
the opposite. Some fucking writer was smoking a joint and watching Texas Chainsaw, and he's like, I like the cut of this guy's jib who's doing this narration at the beginning.
Yeah, I think he'd make a great lawyer.
He's going to be great eventually on the Larry Sanders Show in many years.
Yeah, and then in the remake. So you hear radio, right? So first off,
Right.
that's kind of spooky, right? It's just you hear
radio's scary. It's a
radio
bygone
report.
style.
You hear a radio report of cemetery hooligans.
Yeah. Yep.
Performing morte d'art.
Yeah.
With old bones, and this corpse was dripping. I remember because it was like, ew. They put hair gel. Like,
it was
LA
dripping it had that drip, like it was good.
Yeah,
like fresh Jordans.
No, LA looks like
ice everywhere, meaning that's slang for diamonds.
The drip from Cameron Diaz's ear from Something About Mary, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
And he's like looking good. He's like sitting on a tombstone being like, I'm living my best life. Well, I'm deading my best life because he's dead. He's a bag of bones. Well, he's a zombie. Gross. Gross.
Anyway,
Let's just say if you wanted to hug him, wear gloves.
over your whole body.
Yes, wear a full body glove.
Yeah, so apparently someone decided that was cool, and the radio's like, oh my God. So back then, that's like the only way you could hear news was like in a certain radius of a tower of radio.
Yeah.
Radius.
Yeah. That's why
where
it's
we get the
called
term.
the radius.
It's not why.
Well, that's why it's called radio, because it's like, it's a radius, but it's like, yo.
Oh.
So,
And they're like, I don't know who come done this. We're from Texas, by the way.
yeah, we can make fun of our kin. All right, so, and then it cuts to van kids. And they're like, whoa, Scoob. We got to solve this mystery.
It cuts to Complainy.
Oh, yeah, complaining.
Peeing out of his wheelchair.
Oh, God, yeah.
And like, listen.
And then he falls.
I got to say, not enough movies open that way.
No.
Like, it's a very real human. I'm like, I believe that he's a real person. I pee.
I believe that he is
sitting
gross.
down sometimes. If I'm real tired.
Is that what it is?
Sure.
Well, I mean, why not, right? That's why it's there.
I mean, no
Why
one's
can't-
watching me.
No.
Probably.
I mean, not yet. So I like to imagine that people are watching me, but only after the fact.
That slows it down for me. It helps me enjoy the pee longer.
Like a spa. So yeah, wheelchair man's peeing in a jar, and then he falls out of his chair because he sucks, and then
Not because he's in a chair. He just sucks in general.
He just sucks. He's got rashes on his arms.
And his friends are actually like very like nice, and they're like they put down like planks of wood so he can roll out of the van, and they roll him back up.
And his sister Sally,
Yeah.
and so the van kids are like, we're going to a house because
That's owned by Complainer's family.
Yes, and
Because
they've never been there.
Yeah, and they wanted to take a vacation in the hottest part of the year to the hottest part of the country to hang out in a house with no AC.
And they have no idea. Like, they didn't have Instagram. They didn't have email.
Yeah.
They can't just be like, email the house.
You know
hey,
what?
house, are you open?
They didn't even have MapQuest.
No.
All right. This is like they're following like an old treasure map, like a pirate
Oh,
map.
yeah. It's very much Goonies. I feel like Steven Spielberg was inspired by Toby Hooper's work.
They're like, once you pass the tree that looks like a raft, then you'll feel the chainsaw's wrath. And they're like, I don't know what that means, but I think that means it's a quarter mile.
I think that means we should pick up this crazy psycho with a Polaroid.
They run into a bloody, skinny, methed out looking dude, and they're like, oh, I mean, we don't know where we are, but let's give him a ride to wherever we're going.
Well, it was a different time, man. Like, you just
a
gave
time
rides.
where you just were so bored from not having Instagram that you
No,
picked up crazy
hitchhiking
people?
was so normal back then. Okay, I know that not from experience, but from just I heard about it, like on YouTube. Like I saw, I saw a documentary called
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because this was like the opening of this does purport it like it's real, even though it's fake real.
Oh yeah, this was like one of the first like gotcha based on a true story movies.
Yeah, I like that idea at the end. They're like, "Oh, you thought this was real, you fucking idiot."
Well, because Fargo does the same thing, where it's like these are based on real events, and it's like it wasn't. But at the time, pre-internet, it was like, whoa, that movie Fargo is so crazy. How did that all happen for real? And the Coen brothers are like, I'm going to go to jail.
So they pick up this hitchhiker, and he wants to talk about slaughterhouses and head cheese.
Yes.
And that's listen, I'm
That's
just
a
going to
tall
say
order.
it. That's a red flag.
Yeah. No, it was a different time.
Well, now that would just sound like a foodie.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
Like
oh,
if
yeah, I
somebody
like to
came in-
slaughter my own animals and make head cheese out of their brains. You're like, oh, so
Cool.
I guess that you only serve craft beer at your establishment? And
No, they respond with like, you know what? I've never done that before, but that sounds like a good line of work.
yeah, that's sustainable.
And he's like,
You probably use a lot of turmeric. That's an anti-inflammatory.
he's like, my favorite part is when their brains go crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I can't even imagine. So that's pretty cool. A good, astute notion.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to guess your restaurant has a sign that I can't see.
It's not. It's my bedroom.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Whoa! So
let me look at the Yelp reviews.
So it's hard to get in.
Oh my God, no Yelp reviews. This place is exclusive. We gotta. You got a reservation? Yes, reservation for 2.
Take a bone marrow
Pulls
shot.
out a knife and starts cutting his hand, and you're like, this guy's a real crazy chef. I love it.
Yeah. The crazier, the better.
No, but he does that. He's like, yeah, no, you gotta kill the cows the old-fashioned way by kicking them in the face over and over again, or whatever.
By curb stomping them.
He's telling a cow, bite the curb.
Bite the curb, Bessie.
Bite the curb, Bessie, coming soon on VHS.
So he freaks them out, and he's like taking Polaroids. He's like, buy it for $1 or whatever.
I wish you could see John right now. He was either shaking dice or jerking off.
No, he's shaking the camera like after the Polaroid.
Oh, right.
He's like,
that's
buy
true.
it for $1, and they're like,
Buy a
hey,
picture
should we buy the? Like they're discussing whether they should do it, and they're like, nah.
After like 5 minutes of this guy being terrifying, they're like, I'm not 100% sure about this guy. What do you guys
don't know.
think?
It's not a good
Should we
quality.
buy this picture? It's not great.
And then he starts cutting himself and setting fires and stuff. And they're like, you know what? I have half a mind to kind of maybe
Hey, you
throw
know,
this
buddy,
guy out.
I think maybe we should dump you out on the side of the road right here.
They like tap him on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir. Could you stop murdering us and get out?
And you know what? I'm sorry, but he kind of overreacted. He was like very upset.
I think given his personality, I think he reacted perfectly well.
Oh, I'm not criticizing the acting. I'm just saying, like,
No, I mean,
like, whoa, hey, bro, like, you were weird. We said no thanks, and let's just go our separate ways. You just die in the middle of nowhere of starvation.
and he was like, yeah, we'll go our separate ways. Your left side of you and your right side of you.
But anyway, they throw him out, and they're
throw him
like,
out.
anyway, everything's fine now.
But he here's the thing, and this was like so annoying because it doesn't even come up again. But I know what the intention of it was. But he like puts his bloody hand on the car and he's like wiping it or whatever. And then later when they're at the gas station, and then again they mention it when they get to the house, where they're like, it looks like he made a symbol. It's like, what? I don't like the camera's showing it. It's like, it's just a handprint like scribbled all over it. And I know that they're trying to like,
they were like, you're drawing at
they're
straws
they're trying to say that like, oh, if the other family see the symbol, they know to murder them. But that's not how it shakes out.
Yeah, and they don't really make that clear. And yeah, that doesn't become part of it,
No.
actually.
And like they ponder on it so intensely that I'm just like, he just wiped his hand on it. And
Now-
also, if it was a symbol, it should have come up, but it didn't.
Now,
It's a great movie.
let's talk about that gas station for a second.
Yes.
Couple things.
Really gross.
So that gas station, I do feel like, man, this movie is so iconic in so many ways. And one of them is this is one of the movies that started that trope of like, you stop at the gas station and there's some creepy guy's like, don't go there or whatever.
You're doomed.
But they're like, we have barbecue or whatever. They have barbecue. That gas station, you can go visit it right now. Well, it might be closed right now. But
Well, literally right now.
if you are
Don't go right now, lovely spectators, if it's not between the hours in which they're open.
You're correct.
Turn your volume down.
And this is actually not a joke. It actually is a barbecue place, and it also has a horror memorabilia shop. It's a little town called Bastrop outside of Austin, and I've been there.
Yeah, everyone knows where Bastrop is.
Okay, yeah.
Look, there's
We have listeners in Austria, and they do not know where Bastrop is.
They might.
You know what? If you know where Bastrop is and you're
guys.
one of our foreign listeners, why don't you drop us an email at battlesatfilmfightspodcast.com?
It's real easy. Pull out your Androids or your phones.
Okay.
And then...
wait, not an Android phone, an Android
Yeah.
or a phone.
Well, yeah. That's the only way.
Either pull out your robot or pull out your phone.
Hey, I don't know the world. Some people have Androids.
Yeah, they're further ahead of us there.
Yeah, they have their
fair enough.
iRobots, and they're like, Will Smith, can you tell me about this robot? Wait, what? So, yeah, they go to the place, and the guy there is cutting up nudie, like porn mags, which like here's the thing that's going to be the through line for all the movies, right? Like you definitely see the carbon copying / watered downness as you get through the sequels.
Sure.
Because like I feel like in this one the guy's cutting up nudie mags because he's a crazo.
Right.
That feels natural, right? Because it's not. Well, what I'm saying is, it's
I'm
not
hearing you.
over the top,
Yeah.
crazy like they do in fucking.
He's
3.
basically making a nudie Pinterest board.
Yeah, exactly.
But analog.
Because he's like,
Yeah.
Because he's not necessarily crazy. He's just like bored.
Well,
and he has like the nude shit everywhere. Or am I thinking of 3? Did that happen in 3? Oh my god.
yes. Our minds are melted.
The point is, the gas station scene is great.
And they're like, hey, you probably shouldn't go die. And they're like, no, we're going to go die. And they're like, okay. And so then they go die. Ding, ding, ding.
We're going to go off ourselves. Yeah. We're young. We have no future. Okay.
And then they're like, okay, let's go to Scary House. And they go to a different Scary House that's his relative's scary house.
No. Yeah. And they go inside, and it's just, it is an
junk.
Abandoned, disgusting house. And there's like dead, there's bones, there's skeleton-bones everywhere.
Yeah. This is like they walked inside a dead cockroach's body.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm glad we came to vacation here at my family's place.
Boy, I'm so glad I can get around in the wheelchair with all these stairs.
Okay, now I want to address that because they were going to whiny complainer man's family's place, not one of the other people's there.
Well, Sally too. They were brother and sister.
Okay, whatever. But like, so if anyone were gonna know that it were impossible for him to hang out there and have fun, it would be complainer. But then he gets there and they all like want to go up the stairs and go off, and he's like, well, this fucking sucks. But like, you knew. You should have said, yeah, you guys can go there. Yeah. It's got a bunch of stairs and a pool. I can't really do anything.
You should have, yeah. You should have.
I'm gonna hang out and fucking like play Atari or whatever. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah,
while you were in the van sucking on your fucking sausage, you should have thought, you know what? Come to think of it, it's not gonna be a lot for me to do.
Oh yeah, he was treating a sausage as a cigar, which, you know what? I don't smoke anymore, but I miss it. But I do like protein, so I might bring that back. The keto cigar.
Dude, sucking on a sausage is nice.
Take that however you want, lovely spectators. Do someone a favor. Maybe yourself.
Maybe yourself. I mean, if you're able, hey.
Grab some hot links at the store or on the corner.
No, it can't be a hot link. They're too soft. You got to get like a true, like go to your local, or no, don't go to your local. They're going to be like miles away. Haberdashery of BBQ.
Wait, your local place is miles away?
Get a link. All right? And you'll know what I'm talking about when you bite into it, where it's like, ooh, it's a little tough. The skin's tough.
Oh, right, because if you're treating it like an unlit cigar, a la Hard to Kill, and you are
Will Smith
sucking on it and like chewing on it like an old man who sells cars or runs a newspaper.
Yeah.
You want it tough because those soft ones will break down in your mouth.
Yeah, you don't want those gastrointestinal juices in your mouth.
Go and say, good sir, I'm sorry, but it's gentlemen running these establishments. Say, good sir, I need your hardest cigar quality sausage. And if they don't know what you're talking about,
go fuck yourself.
You twirl your mustache and walk the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you kick up your spats.
That's right. You put your monocle back in your chosen eye of monocle-y.
Yeah.
And
squint.
You turn around and you give them the look of your derriere.
Yeah.
As you stroll on to the next butchery.
And then you will thin collapse your hat. Pop it on your top. Listen, guys, we got to get through this. Okay?
Yeah, there's a chainsaw at some point.
So here's the deal. We're not going to make fun of this movie, except...
Yeah. Any more than we already have.
Except that it's stupid. But it's really good.
So they're exploring to find a pool of water outside, and they find a different scary house.
Yeah, they find a different pool.
And they get hit.
A pool of blood.
Yeah. And one of them walks in, and she gets hit with a hammer by scary man Leatherface man.
It happens so fast.
It happens super fast. It's actually really terrifying.
It's like Hitchcockian almost, where
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because like the boy goes in there and then he just disappears, and she's just like, huh, where'd you go? And she's like looking around, hey, what's going on? And then suddenly you get that snap zoom when he comes into the door frame, and then he just like, and then it's just like, I think 3 cuts of like that moment, close up of the hammer, close up of her, and then she falls, and then he drags her in, shuts that door, and the sound design of just that fucking 10 seconds is so fucking great. It's just, you hear that music sting, pow, the sound of the hammer,
Zing.
dragged in, and then the fucking abattoir door like slamming shut. It's so fucking
honestly,
great.
like, all kidding aside, the first time I saw this movie, that scene scared the shit out of me.
Dude,
Like,
like,
I thought it was
it's
so
fucking
scary.
shocking.
And then, he picks her up and he just very simply hangs her on a hook.
Oh,
just,
God.
Here you go. You're going to hang there while I, do things to your
Like
boyfriend.
I still like have to wince at that, because it's not just like, because like hanging, like your back going on a hook is just so like
hot.
horrifying.
Oh, yeah, horrifying.
Horrifyingly hot. But
I can't even watch those folks that hang from the hooks
Ugh,
like,
God,
with their
yeah.
skin, and they like
an Ichi the Killer,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, and it like makes their D's hard,
Oh yeah.
and I can't.
In
even,
leather pants, it's hard. Like, I mean, it's hard to be hard. Oh my God.
Hard to be hard. New movie. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like just like the sound of it, and like not even just that, just the simplicity of it. It's not
Exactly.
like,
That's what's so creepy. It just
Yeah.
happens. There's no like
because it feels
pomp
like
and circumstance. It's just hit you with a hammer,
Yeah.
drag you in the room.
it's just like basic math to Leatherface in the first one, where it's just
Right.
like, yeah, I'm just putting you on this hook. There's no orchestral like, aha, I'm going to be doing this thing, and like, it's just like, nope, there you go. Oh my God. And then he brutally murders the boyfriend in front of her. It's like
Yeah.
so horrifying.
And also the character is portrayed in a way that is so callous and unfeeling.
yeah.
And I think that's also part of it. It's like almost reptilian. It's just like very like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because this is what I do because we're cannibals and we're just like,
Right, yeah.
I'm just killing these people and I'm going to turn them into delicious
Sausage.
Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue.
Well, it's almost like the preamble of Crazy Man in the Van
Right.
talking about like slaughtering
His artisanal
animals,
head
where
cheese.
he's describing it as like, oh, this is work. Like
Right.
this is what, like these places being shut down, they're out of a job.
Yeah.
And all they knew was killing. You know what I mean?
it can
And so
almost
you get
be
to
a-
this, it's
yeah.
like, yeah, you're just killing humans. No different than you would kill cows. Like, and it's just like, whoa, this is so cool. Well, I mean,
It
this
could
is-
almost be a Big and Rich song about it. It's just it's just life a day in the life, man. We take these people to the killing floor and we salt them up and we kill them some more. And that's just a day in the life of free Americans or whatever.
well, killing them cows, don't ask us how.
We're driving our Toyotas, don't worry about it now, 'cause we're all free Americans here in Texas.
We're driving those Toyotas. Don't worry one iota. All right. Yeah, they're not saying words like that. They're saying words like, beer and again. So
Oh yeah, well the new album is called Beer, again ? Yes.
wait, period.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark, motherfucker. So yeah, Chainsaw Man, he's taking care of business, right?
Yeah.
Family business.
CCB.
and so other people, okay. Remember when it's dark times and I don't mean like, it's tragedy.
Like
No, I mean
medieval
it's
times,
literally
yeah.
the sun's out. Like it's
No,
out for
not
me.
out.
No,
yeah, it's been put out.
it's been put out
he
by
put
Rocky.
his sunglasses on. He's gone to bed.
It's gone to bed. No, there's nightcap.
No, the moon wears the nightcap.
Oh, right. Yeah, rain, sleet, or snow. So he, so it's nighttime, and Sally and Franklin are like, oh my God, I was just, okay, so at this point of the movie, I'm so over this fucking guy.
Franklin is
man.
complainer.
He sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
But like at this moment where she's like, I got to go find our friends. Give me the flashlight. And he's like, no, I want the flashlight. And like they have such a huge argument about the flashlight. And he's like, no, I'll help.
You should be more worried about the chainsaw guy.
Yeah. And if I was Sally, I would just be like, oh my God, Franklin, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. Give me the flashlight.
Look, again, no offense, but you need your hands to move.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'll help.
I'll hold it with my mouth. No.
Yeah. No, you're going to get a chainsaw to the mouth, which happens. Well, to his belly.
Yeah.
Because Chainsaw was trying to help him lose some pounds. Literally. Pound of flesh?
Yeah.
And then I stood up and clapped alone in my apartment studio. I was
I was not there.
He should be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so he kills almost all of them. And then they have a little family dinner, and apparently Hitchhiker Man, Chainsaw Man, and Barbecue Man are all related to Grandpa Man, who looks like, okay, you know how there's two kinds of raisins? There's like the dark colored ones, and there's like the white grape ones. Yeah. He's like if you built a person out of white grape ones, but they were filled with like a cream filling.
Oh, God. Yeah, he didn't look real.
He looked like Raisin Man.
Sally's screams are legendary.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Whoa.
I mean,
like,
she's an all-time final girl for sure.
Oh yeah, the Ridge almost, 74, shit.
And then like they have to cut her finger and be like, "Here, Grandpa, suck on her blood because that's enough to sustain you for some reason."
That'll turn the sand in you into less sand.
You'll go from raisin to grape, lickety split.
You used to do taxes, Grandpa, but now you're taxidermy. Hey, I didn't try.
And then they're like, "Oh, here, Grandpa, you like killing. Here." And they hand him a hammer and try to get him to. And it's so sad. I don't know. It's like the first time you beat your dad at football games.
Yeah, and a Sarah McLachlan song starts playing, and you're just like,
right.
Oh, God,
and then you're like, I have to adopt a dog. Oh, no, they're also going to die. Oh, my God, life is meaningless.
The only meaning is tough sausage at Sugar Ray's, or whatever you said.
And then Sally's like, well, now that they're doing this pathetic thing with Grandpa, I'm going to run away. And she does.
She does. And when she runs away, she meets a truck man who, like all truck men, have a big wrench. And he uses that wrench to fucking take out Leatherman.
Yeah.
He
doesn't kill him.
No, he doesn't kill him, but he he disarms him for a moment so Sally can get away. And then she gets in another truck, the bed of the truck. And the guy in the truck is like, hey, where are you going to, sweetie? I can take you there. Because he's a good Texas boy.
And she's like, oh, gee, anywhere but here, mister.
I'm just trying to get to the TCU game or whatever. And
oh, that's the next.
Yeah. But again, with her screams, like, in fact, I saw this movie once when I was a kid, and it scared the shit out of me to the degree I didn't watch it again for like 10 years. And I'm a horror movie guy since I was a kid, but the end of that movie always stuck with me, where she is maniacally laughing and crying at the same time.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
while while Leatherman is throwing his chainsaw all around.
Yeah, he's swinging his chainsaw around
like a helicopter.
Meanwhile, they're playing "I Had the Time of My Life." Now, owe it all to you. And he points at the chainsaw.
Nobody chainsaws baby in the corner.
Well, get your chili bowls ready because it's time for Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. That'll make sense if you've seen it or soon.
Wait, that it's called Part 2? Like it's part of a saga like Godfather?
That's right. This is the exciting second chapter, of this saga.
Yeah. It all connects, guys. It's like 14 years later and this movie comes out.
It might have been penned by the Bard himself.
Yeah, Tobey Hooper.
Good old Tobey. I mean, look, we've got everything I want in a horror movie. We've got Texas OU weekend.
Yes.
We've got dancing chainsaw zombie guy.
Yeah. We've got Femme Fatale radio gal.
Femme Fatale radio gal who's awesome. And she gets called Stretch, I think, or something.
She's
because she's tall.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's got legs,
and they stretch
It's like a
out.
good Broadway show or a good wine.
We've got a disgusting chili competition where the winner has a trophy where you have to eat the chili out of the trophy.
Yeah, it's like no. I don't think they have to eat it out of the trophy. I think it's just more of like, you won the trophy, so here's the chili that you won with in it.
Wait, so
Or it's just like Wolf Brand.
so this is like we're like, you have to hang on to this trophy until next year because then you got to give it up to the winner. You got to hang on to this chili until next year.
It has to be good next year.
That's how it becomes part of the trophy.
Conrad, how did the chili winning contest become part of the movie?
I'm gonna say
it doesn't really.
yeah. Well, no, remember, because this radio station, they get a call from kids driving to Texas OU weekend, and for some reason they can't hang up on them.
Yeah,
And
you can't pull the plug.
these kids are wearing funny glasses and shooting signs, just like every young roustabout would do.
Well, from Oklahoma.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, they're coming for. Sorry, OU.
Hey, they allow
guys.
gambling up there, man. It's strange. Tobacco's cheap.
Yeah, it's Windstar County up there, and they
that's
are
right.
just.
And you know what? I've heard tell that everybody's going Choctaw. So
No.
I don't know. If
I
that's
was
true or
refraining
not.
from making that joke.
Yeah, but the radio station, they're like, all right, well, we're done with talking to weird callers from cars. Time to go cover this important chili competition. If I've learned anything from this movie, it's you want to win a chili competition? Use people.
Well, I mean, people is what makes the world go round.
Yeah.
And it makes the stew go round. Like
In his speech, they're like, how do you do it every year, Joe Bob,
Bricks.
Billy Bob? They put the microphone in his mouth and he goes, the secret to winning the chili competition is the people. And they're like, oh, that's actually really sweet. And he's like, no, it's not sweet. We chop up people. And they take it. They're like, well, that's all the time we have. They're very oblivious to the many warning signs.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
But then Stretch gets back to her wretched career as a radio person.
That
and
she loves.
Yeah. And she's like, we're going to be playing some music for y'all out there in Texas land. And then those rapscallions who looked like crazy villains from a Revenge of the Nerds movie call again
I
from
think
their
that's
car phone.
generous. It was like Trauma meets Bond movie.
They were like the skeevy guys from Back to the Future. Remember the villains in that who were like or whatever?
Oh yeah, but in the second
3D
one,
glasses.
yeah, the future one where Biff had
yeah.
metal head hair.
Metalhead hair.
Hey, remember that? That always bothered me.
Different time.
Yeah.
Different time.
He's like goes to the barber shop and they're like, what'll it be? And he's like, give me the metal. He talked like that in that movie.
He's like Chrome Dome.
yeah, chrome. Give me another chrome dome. They're like, all right, that'll be $8,000 because
To use platinum. No, but they call again the skeevy punks who are like, show me your tits on the radio.
yeah, they're like, show us your tits through the phone line. And she's like, for the love of God, I can't hang up on this side for some reason. We don't have the technology.
Yeah, and this is when Leatherman makes his debut in the movie, where he comes out and it's a old corpse dancing and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And believe me, like, if you don't know the story, I'll just
We basically
nutshell-
just told it to
Well,
you.
no. The production story, I'll just nutshell it for you. They wanted to make a second Texas Chainsaw movie. Like this literally was 12 years apart.
Yeah,
Okay?
by they, we don't mean Tobey.
No, we mean Universal or whoever put it out, Lionsgate. The point is, they wanted to make a second one, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not interested." And they're like, "All right, we're gonna get someone else to do it." And he was like, "Okay, I'll do it, but I want to go crazy bonkers with it." And they're like, "Okay, cool, do it."
Yeah.
Because it's fucking Canon Films, by the way. So they're Canon Films, if you don't know, will throw tons of money at whatever just to get what they want.
Yep.
So
This was a real Gremlins 2 Hulk Hogan breaking the fourth wall
yeah.
kind of situation.
yeah, this wasn't an $80,000 effort, guys. This was the millions of dollars. And so he was like, "Yeah, let's go fucking funny with it. Let's go crazo."
Yeah.
And so we have Leatherman on a truck with a corpse, like dancing and straight up murdering these boys.
Yeah.
These children from OU.
Now, to be fair, these children were like drinking booze, shooting signs, and I'm
they were
just going
terrible.
to say it,
Hurrah.
wearing terrible, silly glasses.
Yeah.
Now, I'm all for novelty, but they took it too far.
I thought you were going to say, to be fair, these were like 30-year-olds playing 18-year-olds.
That's understood. Yeah.
So it's okay to murder them.
Yeah,
on
Dennis
screen.
Hopper was 84 years old playing a 20-year-old detective or whatever.
A hotshot detective. So yeah, let's talk about Dennis Hopper. He gets introduced as like an obsessed guy who's looking for chainsaw guys. Like he's just holding auditions. Like, hey, can I find a good chainsaw guy? Are you my chainsaw guy?
Well, and he makes the most logical first stop, which is the local chainsaw store.
What was the chainsaw, Ray?
Okay, yeah. But literally, it's a store where there's an old man. He's like, "Oh, welcome to Chainsaws R Us. We sell one thing, but you can't guess what it is.
It's us.
It's us. No, chainsaw. Oh,
Damn
I
it.
had the script written right here. I was trying to get off script.
Hey, you know what, Margaret? We should go to another store.
So he has every variety of chainsaws. He's got single chainsaws, triple chainsaws, acoustic chainsaws. Most people just call them saws.
He's got all kinds of chainsaws. He's got
You buy 9 chainsaws, you get the 10th for just 1 penny. And, weirdos like Dennis Hopper walking, although Dennis Hopper was a man of the law named Lefty. Nothing weird there.
Hey, you know what? I will appreciate the way the scene was shot. It was all
On film.
It was no, with a gun. No, it was Marcel Marceau. Okay, it was Charlie Chaplin. He didn't say one word. He walks in there, looks at the chainsaws, drops, I don't know, $1,000.
Whatever chainsaws cost times 3.
In 1986, gets the big honkin' one and then 2 little ones, right?
Yeah.
And he's like going to town on the practice
Don't worry.
log.
Yeah, there's a test log outside, and the owner's like, well, split my banana. Like, he keeps saying weird things like that. And
Yeah, he was
go
like,
ahead, test him out, mister. It's totally not weird that you want 3 chainsaws as a police officer.
yeah, he was like, well, spit in my mouth and call me a girl. If that ain't a guy who's buying 3 chainsaws, my name's not Sally Dickerson. Wait, what?
Well, smack a toad and bust a load. I've got everything you need right here, buddy. You rip them chains, don't give me no pain. It's cash on the barrel head,
Whoa,
okay?
is that $1,000 cash? Wow, that's a chainsaw of another color.
He's already left. Dennis Hopper's out the door in his car, driven away, and he's still he's got to get through all of his sayings.
Yeah,
you know?
he's got it. He's like, wow,
Yeah.
you split that log more than I did my wife last week.
Well, it's like I always said, that's all I got because there's gravy in the pot. So it's quitting time around these parts.
if I didn't chainsaw it, it didn't chain happen. And you're like, I don't even know what that means. He's like, well, if you go to Vegas and see a little lady, guess what? You're having gravy. No one knows that you're talking about Grandpa.
Don't hurt yourself. Keep your chainsaws on the shelf. If you start them going, they don't stop blowing, which is something we need to address because the chainsaws keep going after you let go of them,
yeah.
which is not. That's not
Well,
how
here's the
chainsaws
deal.
work.
Like that happens in the 3rd and 4th one, but I give it a pass in the 2nd one because the 2nd one is like drifting into fantasy world because it is so bonkers. But
This is like someone witnessed the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and then wrote a ridiculous comic book about them, and now you, the viewer, are reading that comic book.
yeah, they were channeling Stephen King and Jim Morrison when they were writing the script.
Wow, listen, I don't like Jim Morrison, but I think that's even too tame.
I mean, the Lizard King was very present during this film.
I think this is more of a Frank Zappa vibe.
Oh, okay.
This has got big mustache energy all over it.
Dude, I would love to have a chainsaw. I was at...
You could use your chainsaw to cut up your tuna to make maki at home, and then you don't need a sushi place.
You could, but you would also need there would be a lot of cleaning after.
Oh,
It's going on the walls.
I don't know if you saw the residents of this town. There's not a lot of cleaning up of anything going on.
Well, speaking of cleaning, Stretch is trying to do a good job of cleaning up the law by reporting on dead children.
She goes into that hotel full of college kids to find Lefty, the sheriff.
Yeah, who's holed up, and he answers the
party
door,
hotel.
and he's got like the classic like the bad "I've been awake for days" makeup on his eyes. And it's like, wait, what?
It looks like a drag queen punched him in the face with their makeup back.
Their face.
Yeah, with their face.
Well, like the thing is like the story is that he's the uncle to Franklin and Sally, right? And so he's been pursuing this for a while. Mm-hmm. So it's like, wait, why now is he extra obsessed with it by being in a hotel going crazy? Who cares? The point is, she recorded the guys getting murdered, and he's like, well, I don't trust you unless you air what happened, even though it happened already on the air. So she's like, all right, fine, Lefty. I'm going to do you a solid and do this favor for you.
I'm really glad that they portrayed this very realistic situation of cops letting radio DJs be vigilantes for them.
Oh, yeah.
Against a chainsaw-wielding maniac.
Yeah. And so I think it's funny when Chainsaw Family hear it, they're just like, oh, shit, they know about our secrets, even though it's like, I mean...
Oh, yeah, they hear it on the barbecue chili man.
But the thing is, like, they go hard, and they're like, oh, shit, we need to send Pulp Fiction hit crew, Leatherface and Bill Moseley to kill you.
Bill Moseley metalhead.
Clearly, no one cared, because this happened live, and no one gave a shit, and like a week went by.
This is in a town of like 22 people.
Yeah.
They were all at the chili massacre or whatever.
In real life, the old man McChilly would have heard that and just been, yeah, who cares? Like, nobody cares. But instead...
Maybe this will be good for chili sales.
But instead, he's like, oh, let's kill them. And so they go out there, and Bill Moseley has a bad wig and is eating his head.
Lovely spectators, Jono is miming eating a chicken leg.
You see a chicken leg, but I see better endeavors. He's eating his own head, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you're like, what is happening?
He keeps touching the metal spot that's got skin and putting it in his mouth.
Yeah, with a hanger.
But
he's giving an abortion to his skull.
I love that it's later in the movie implied that they've killed like hundreds, maybe thousands of people, which is, by the way, insane.
Especially for a small town.
Like, that's what I'm saying. They've killed the town like 20 times, basically.
Well, they're definitely not killing Chainsaw Man.
But they are like incapable of killing this one person without weapons.
Well, because Leatherman is like, oh my God, you're a hottie. You're a hottie, snotty. Okay, I want to get in.
Hottie boom.
I want to get in your potty.
Whoa.
Like
you're saying more about yourself than...
No. I mean, like, he's affecting an accent, like your party, which means your pants.
He's saying this in his head. He's nonverbal.
He's like I said, Chaplining it. Okay. He's like, he's like licking his lips, and he's like pointing his chainsaw, like he's holding it in front of his crotch, and to imply like, hey,
yeah,
my dick is gonna rip you up.
This is sort of like Beauty and the Beast. Right, because he's like a monster that's hulking and scary and doesn't talk too good.
Yeah, and then she is a pot of tea.
There might be something there that wasn't there before. Yeah. She's dripping.
Yeah, she's dripping. Well, because of the ice. Like they seem to always keep like a pail of ice.
Yeah, they have a huge tub of ice and like root beer. I'm like, oh, are these for all the guests you've got coming on this show?
It's fucking 2 a.m. but you just have ice. And it gets her all wet, not in a sexual way, but it is a sexual moment for Leatherman, he's growing up. So he's feeling the hairs grow.
Oh my God, we missed out on a great 90s era sitcom a la Step by Step called Growing Up Chainsaw, where we see him,
The
a
Saw's
young
family.
Leatherface,
Yeah.
deal with his body,
Deal with his leather space.
his leather space. And then he's got like a nerd friend who has a machine that makes him cool. I don't know.
Well,
I'm
he
just
has a
spitballing
he has a different best friend every episode because he kills them and wears his face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh man, Leatherman, you and I have been friends since this morning." Let me tell you.
And Leatherface's catchphrase is, he doesn't talk.
No,
He's
yeah,
not
he doesn't
nonverbal.
talk. No, yeah. Like most famous killers before him, except for Ed Gein, he talks a
And
lot.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
and-
he has a spoken word
and
album actually.
Dennis Rader.
Raider of the Lost Dennis.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, John. He gives you the John Payne.
And Albert Fish.
He's fishing for. Yeah, let's keep it going. So anyway, here we are in Chainsaw Land, and Stretch is like,
you lefty?
She's like, I'm gonna follow these dumb scumbags to their home
Because I have a sense of justice.
Yeah, I have a sense of justice, and that justice isn't just us, if you know what I mean, which I was covered in earlier.
Again, much like Chainsaw Store owner, no one is there to hear this soliloquy.
No. So she gets there and she's like, "Oh, I really like what you done with the Christmas lights in your tunnel."
Oh, yeah. Wait, hang on. She fell through a random hole that was like...
Oh, that's right, in a field or something.
In a field. She's talking to Lefty, and he's like, "Hey, I'm driving, and I'm here."
I'm almost there, honey.
And she's like, "Whoa!" Falls down into gut world because like all the walls are like it's like she's inside a. You know what? This is like Magic School Bus. She's like inside a colon.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the movie. It's like, oh my god, isn't this weird that this tunnel is like a human body? That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what Chainsaw Family does. The Buzz is family, or the Saw is family, guys.
Oh, you're getting ahead of ourselves.
Getting a little ahead of ourselves. So she's there, and she's like, "Yo, guys, you got to like put up some air fresheners or something. There's a lot of dead
I
bodies."
don't know if you guys noticed. It doesn't smell great in here.
No.
It's very sticky.
The air. It feels like the air is sticky. Like I'm stuck to it.
Oh my god, this is like ripe for the like queer eye for the straight guy.
Yeah, or even Gordon Ramsay.
Oh my god.
These bodies are rotten.
This is shocking. You're gonna kill somebody. And they're like, yeah.
we're
sure.
doing all right, guy. And so Stretch sees
2
that
months later, the Saw place closed. Again.
she sees that her not best friend at all, JT, who works at the station, JD,
Cowboy hat
DJ,
McTummy.
Cowboy McDarlin, is there, and his face is all scraped off. It has been clean taken off.
Yeah. An improvement, to be honest.
Oh yeah. And he was super like gross. He was like, oh man.
He was like, "Oh, Stretch, I'd like to stretch." Anyway, you want some coffee? And she's like, "It's 3 a.m, and I'm about to go home." And he's like,
Okay,
"I'm gonna go get you some coffee."
I'm just gonna do that for you, and then maybe we could sleep together later. So he is faceless, and then that face goes on her face, and then she becomes a face.
Yeah.
And Leatherface man is
He's like, "This is kind of working for me."
he's like, "Hey, we are face to face. Get it? Wink." Again, that doesn't. The soliloquies are not coming through.
Do you like Batman? Because we're about to both be two-faced.
We're going to
Puts
be
a face on your-
4-faced,
yeah.
which in actuality will be 16-faced. Whoa, you know math real good. So
Yeah, and she tries to play along. She's like, "Oh, you like my snatch or whatever?" No, she's like, "Oh, how good are you at doing sex things and like with your saw?"
and Leatherface is like, well, let me put it this way, and he put the chainsaw in front of his dick and then ripped the engine. And she's like,
That doesn't answer my question.
he's like, well, what I'm trying to say is, are you on your period? because I have no lube.
What I'm trying to say is my penis is terrifying looking, and it's flat.
And it's
on
very,
the side.
it's very
It's
sharp. A lot
very
of bones sticking out.
Huh? What do you think?
Pretty good, right?
And then they're all like, "Oh, Leatherface, you didn't done killed dang her now." I love that Chili Man is like, "Oh, we are so behind on barbecue production." Like, okay, like, wait, so did he kill them
Did you
because
just win a contest?
he was afraid that she was going to rat him out, or because he was like out of product?
Both.
Oh, okay.
It's like
All
insult
right.
to injury.
Fair enough.
kind of thing.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
So-
they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, so Chain Man, after playing with her for a little bit, Chili Man is like, oh, dude, bombshell. We can't have ladies in here. This isn't a sausage factory. So he takes her and is like, you're going to have dinner with us because it happened in the first movie.
Yep. And then they make it's Grandpa Hammer time.
Yes.
He's like, stop.
It's shovel time. I mean,
Hammer time. No.
And then Leatherface comes out with parachute pants, and he's like, oh.
And she's like, can't touch me. And they're like, dang, she figured it out. All right, you're free to go.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. I'm too legit to be into bits.
And then they're like, no, Can't Touch This is the only MC Hammer song that we like here.
What about the Addams Family song? They do what they want to do. Isn't that what you guys do?
Like, yeah, that one's okay. End of movie.
Adam Family credits.
Yeah, and so then Dennis Hopper comes in with triple chainsaw.
He has a daddy saw, and then he has two little saws.
Oh,
right?
it's a whole family of
And
chains.
yeah, they're like,
It's symbolic.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm Tobey.
And then he chainsaw fucking battles.
Yeah, they chainsaw battle, which is awesome because it's like, I mean, this is the zenith of how insane Toby Hooper had with this movie, where he's just like, yeah, we gotta have a fucking chainsaw battle. Luke and Darth did it. You know. And so they're chainsaw fighting, which I don't know how that would work in real life.
Everybody was chainsaw fighting.
But he does get Chili Man in the chilies.
Oh, right in his chilies too, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and right in the bread basket. And so he crawls under the table and is talking to Grandpa, who's a skeleton or whatever. And he's like, oh, damn it, I can't believe
He's even more raisined.
Yeah, yeah. He's raisined in the sun with sunglasses. And he's like, damn it. And he gets a grenade and is like, man, I'm going to 9/11 all of us.
And that's where the terrorists got the idea. So that's why this movie was banned.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
so
Well,
many
I mean,
ways.
there were two chainsaws.
Oh, shit. It's like The Simpsons predicting.
and the movie came out, well, not on September 11th, but, you know, probably a showtime was at 9/11. Okay, guys, you've had the leather rest. Now it's time for the leather best. I am, of course, talking about Texas Chainsaw 3D.
3D?
I mean, Leatherface,
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Leather, I hardly know her. But seriously, that's about as good as it gets in this movie.
Yeah, next movie.
Yeah.
So, this movie is very well known for the poster art having nothing to do with the movie. Having a different actor and different mask and everything.
This movie basically wants to drive one point home, and that's the point of a chainsaw. There's no point on it. It's round.
It's round.
Yeah, all the ads, the DVD, probably the Blu-ray if it's available in Blu-ray, which is doubtful. Has the chainsaw. Oh, and the blade says the saw is family.
Yeah, they lean hard with this. But no, he puts, oh God, the tagline for this is he puts the teeth in terror, which
What?
What?
Yeah, I guess there's teeth.
there's
on
teeth
a-
on the chainsaw, but like what's the pun there or whatever? I think it's supposed to be he puts the T in terror, but it's like he puts the teeth.
You know, there is like a thing with, I think with the horror movies in particular, but like movies in general, where people like think they're making a pun and they just like don't understand what a pun is.
Oh, you mean like when a movie is like, oh, it's just off the top of my head, Demons at the Door, where the tagline is hell has opened up and the earth is going to end. That's not really a tagline to put on your poster. That's just a synopsis of the movie.
Yeah. Coming soon, Batman. If you were orphaned and you were a millionaire and you became a vigilante, you would be Batman. Like, that's not what?
Wait, all that's on the poster? Yeah. No, you have to go short and sweet. Like a poster for Exorcist will be like, people are turning heads for the Exorcist.
Okay, that's a good example because that's like, well, that's not a pun. That's okay. It's
like,
actually more clever than some of these.
Oh, that's just off the top of me head.
It's in the blood. Wink. Like, that's not what?
No, the Saw is family, guys.
The Saw is family.
So
not to be confused with the Saw movies. Those are not family based.
No, they are not
Those
at all.
are
In fact,
individual based.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're not for your family.
They are torture movies. So it's like, I saw you get tortured, part 5. So Texas Man times 10, part 3 is about Leatherman. Like, it's called Leatherface, guys.
So you would think that Leatherface would be the focal point of this movie more than the other Texas Chainsaw movies. Unfortunately, you're going to be disappointed.
He's actually less.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say the second movie probably explored him.
He's barely
more.
in this movie.
No, yeah, he's in it as much as the truck that terrorizes the couple.
Oh, yeah.
So it opens with this couple, well, ex-couple. They make that very clear that they are a recently separated couple, but the man being a man is like, well,
she wants to talk, man, but he's listening to his Walkman because he's got his portable CD player or tape player while he's riding.
She's asking him to take a walk, man.
Yeah, right. And it's funny because when this movie first started, this was my first or second time watching it. I'm not sure, but
first or second,
they almost had like a dynamic of like a mom and son. Who, like, the son's like, whatever, mom, fuck you.
They do, yeah.
Because she's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you, and he's like, oh, I guess I'll take my headphones off. But it turns out they're just estranged, but in the car together.
Yeah, and here's the thing: there's one solid like story element thing in this movie.
Wow, really?
Yes. Okay.
Lay it on
like
me.
I hooked onto this like a fish being dead. When they're driving, they hit a aardvark, right? That's the animal.
They hit an armadillo. An aardvark, for the uninitiated, is an anteater. They are endemic to a very different part of the world.
My brain can only hold so many things, right? Dyslexic, right? And I thought, hey, an A.
I just like that we live in Texas in IRL, and you were thinking that it was an aardvark.
Look, you all need to understand
What
me.
did they hit? Was it a kangaroo, or it was the Tasmanian devil or something?
You all need to understand. I thought they hit an animal that starts with an A, and then I went through the dictionary. Aardvark is first.
Oh, you pulled a John Travolta in Phenomenon.
Yeah, aardvark, babe, cat, donkey, or the donkey.
All right, well, you said donkey twice, but since you named one, we have to count it. Yeah.
No, but, okay, they hit an armadillo, okay, and I remember, like, cause like she's like, hey, we need to put it out of its misery, and so she takes the rock, but she can't do it. and then he does it, right? And then later in the movie,
And he's like, pussy.
she needs to kill Leatherman, and she does it. She
Yeah.
takes a rock and bashes his brains
Leatherman
out.
is endemic to this area.
So it's like, whoa, this
character growth.
this regal fucking movie that's so awful. God. I happened to say that he was just taking a drink and
Oh
he
my
is
God.
almost spit it out everywhere.
I had to really
For,
try to
for the
not spit
hardcore
that out.
lovelies out there, that is a callback to an episode where
Very.
regal, we know what that means.
Yeah, if you're not regal, you can put the pieces together.
Whoa. So she has to kill Leatherman, and so it's like, oh, there's where she finds the strength to do it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's cool. Nothing else besides Ken Foree's appearance. He's wonderful. This movie's garbage. But couples traveling, they pull into the gas station, as you do in a Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, it's compulsory.
Yeah. And there's a crazo guy there who's like, ooh, I want to have sex with you all.
Look, he doesn't see that many people. I mean, he's basically like a prison inmate in his own mind.
Oh, yeah. And the conjugal visit is anybody who drives by.
Yeah, I mean, that's a unisex bathroom he's got the peephole in, and he's like,
Yeah.
dicks, pusses. Like, honestly, I just want to see something breathing and then later not breathing.
Oh, yeah. He's got the peephole, like in that famous movie,
Peephole.
Silence of the Hams, where he's like,
Yep, that's the most famous movie about a peephole.
at least one.
not Porky's.
Hey, I guarantee at least one of our lovely spectators gets that reference, and that is who that is for.
Fair enough. Viggo Mortensen, who plays Tex, as he's called in the movie, he's a tall, lanky Texas man,
Yeah.
although assumedly they're all Texas people.
Yeah, brilliant casting. Viggo Mortensen playing a
Yeah.
redneck Texan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, he does a good job, though. I will
He
say.
actually does.
He
Yeah,
really does.
he's like, hey, get out of here with your people. Quit being that way. And he grabs him and he's like, don't you ever come around here to your own gas station and be looking at ever again.
Don't be looking with them peepers,
And
all
then
right?
he's like, anyway, I saved you from the pervert. and he's like, how about I get a ride? I'm going to Hoboken. I mean El Paso.
regular Texas place.
Regular Texas.
I'm from here. Hey. I'm like, from here, ma.
What's the deal with us? We're all like, oh, cowboys. Am I right, folks? Anyway.
You want to rock and roll with a guy like me? So he's basically like, hey, that road that you're on, oh, dude, it's Bozo Town. Do not take that road. You want
You're
to
gonna
take
hit so many aardvarks if you take that road.
You want to take this other road, the one that's like not a road.
And they look to the right, and the road he's telling them not to go on is like sunshiny and it's like lined with apple trees. And then the road he's telling them to go on leads into a bubbling bog with snapping alligators coming out of it.
And they're like, you know what? I like the cut of your jib. Hope not New Jersey guy.
Regular Texan.
Regular
Yeah.
Texan man. So we're doubting you as a person, but since you got blasted by a shotgun.
Hang on, though. I think this is really the funniest thing about this movie to me was that even though they're broken up, they're like still like she's trying to like, hey, like I still like care about you, and you know I'm moving, but it's for me, and I still want to like be in touch. And then immediately, the first time she meets another man, she's like, oh fuck yeah, come ride with us, dog. You look
Yeah.
sexy as fuck.
It's Viggo Mortensen. I mean, he's hot
come
as
on.
shit.
Yeah.
And
She's
then
like,
boyfriend
I've never heard anyone with an authentic Texas accent like that before. It's kind of giving me the chilies in my willies, if you know what I mean.
shiver me timbers. And then boyfriend McNerdy Pants is like, hey, quit muscling it on my girl.
Get your damn hands off her.
He's like trying to kick sand in his face. Like, hey, I have glasses. I'm a big deal.
He like almost like puffs up his chest like, yeah, you see this? I may be a foot shorter than you, but my dick is also a foot shorter than yours.
But also I have a roadmap, okay? And so Viggo...
I may not know how to pronounce tamales, but I know how to please a lady.
So Yeah, and Igor Mortensen is like, "Hey, I'm telling you about this. I'm telling you about this life hack. Okay, so you should give me a ride." And they're like, "No, you should get blown away by a shotgun later." And he does, and he's like, "I'm Nostradamus," and they start hot-footing it away. And they're like, "Hey, we should take that path." Now, here's the deal. The maker of this movie does not know about scary movie tension, because in that moment, as an audience person, if I may put on my thinking cap real quick.
You're always welcome to.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
I've got Jason head, if you know what I'm saying.
Not a strong swimmer.
Not a strong swimmer. But I'm regal AF. So
that's right.
So the tension is there, right? Because you're like, oh my God, Vigio Mortensen is like, I don't know how to trust him, but then he gets shot, and you're like, holy shit, maybe he was just a regular guy trying to help him out. And he tried to send him on the right path. So what should happen? Oh, the movie makers are like, hey, let's make sure the audience knows that there's a danger element, and be like, hey, let's send out a monster truck. And then the weirdo gas station guy's like, yeah, the trap is set. So now it's like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just going to expect scary stuff.
Turns out Viggs Mortiz was a real sleaze.
And it's not going to get any easier.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
So they're driving, and they get pulled over by the cops. Which cops? The chainsaw cops. They get a flat tire.
Wait, yeah, because there's like the mounted division where they ride horses.
Uh-huh.
There's the detectives who detect crimes.
They detect
That's
other
what they
things,
do.
Yeah.
There's the beat cops that beat you up for not being white. It's real. It's not funny, but it is real. And then there's chainsaw cops. So like, okay, this is just regular chainsaw cops.
Well, they have like chainsaws in their holsters. And they come over there and go, hey, I'm here to check on your chainsaws, yeah?
They're also Swedish. And they're like, I don't know, this checks out. This is how they do it down here in Texas.
And then they get the chainsaw and they kind of kick at it, and they just kind of look at it and go, oh, yeah, this looks okay.
Anyway, time to bring you down to home to Leatherface.
Yeah, and then, they get all scared, and they have to change a tire, and it's like, hey, I'm a man, let me do it, watch out, this is a different time. So they get it all patched up, and they drive away, right? And then they run into Ken Foree.
Awesome.
Of famous Dawn of the Dead, etc.
Also, later on, was in Devil's Rejects.
Etc. That was part of it.
Wasn't he in some exploitation films too, maybe?
Probably.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, but I haven't seen a lot of the stuff he's been in.
Neither have I, but like he just stands out.
He does,
as a fucking character actor.
He's very distinct.
And he is the best thing of this movie. Like
he's like by far and away the best actor in this movie.
This movie starts at 0, but he gets 20.
And Viggo Mortensen's in this movie, and he's definitely... Ken Foree is the best actor in this movie, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Like, what was that line that he says about the... Because he's seeing them for the first time, and he's like a survivalist and everything. And they're not all there because they've been in a car accident. And she's like, oh, there's scary guys everywhere with chainsaws, and they have like clown faces, and they say stuff like, hey, baby, give me your wallet. And he's like, what was it?
Militant lumberjacks. I see them all the time.
Yeah, but the way he delivers it is like so funny and sarcastic, but also like he's just trying to move things along.
Yeah. Well, he almost takes on that role in like some like the horror or sci-fi trope of like the guy who seems crazy but is the one who kind of knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Because like that militant lumberjack line, it seems like a throwaway line, but basically he's like the one who survived Chainsaw Family.
Yeah, he's been preparing for this, you know? But he's like, I don't believe that's happening right now. Not until I meet a crazy girl who lost her sister to a crazy...
There's one right here in the middle of the woods in this dark as fuck movie where we can't see fucking anything.
Yeah. So, long story short, Crazo brother of Vigo, we'll call him Bigo. Not from Ghostbusters 2.
He was much less confusing.
All right, then we'll have to call him, I don't know.
He was Tex.
Hugo Weaving. but not that one, in parentheses. So he comes in, he's like, whoa, howdy, you guys have a wreck of a mess of a wreck on your hands. How about I tow you into town for a small fee? And then he bites his finger in a sexy way, and you're like, what is that doing in the movie?
Right, and they were like, weren't you just talking with a New Jersey accent a little while ago? What's happening?
It's a different guy. And he says, he's like, I tell you what, I'll help you out of your predicament if you suck on my toes later. He doesn't say that, but I basically...
It's very much implied. Yeah.
And then Ken Foree is like, yeah, just let me... he sees the chainsaw in his truck. And he's like, ooh, let me just assemble a gun over here. It's going to take 30 minutes.
What's funny is Ken Foree is like you inserted a real like smart person into a horror movie full of dopes that are like falling for all the tropes. Dopes falling for tropes.
Dopes falling for tropes.
And he's like, yeah, okay, you're dumb. And then anyway, they still get kidnapped by Chainsaw Family and they end up in Chainsaw House.
They end up in Chainsaw House.
With Viggo Mortensen.
No, you're not Vistop. You're Viggo. Hey, are you busy at acting? I've got just the thing for you, for the actor on the Viggo. It's Mortensen. It's a vitamin you take on the skin. Now, it's a topical vitamin.
And then she wakes up and there's a little girl playing and she's like, oh, little girls aren't scary. And they turn on the lights and there's skeletons everywhere. This is such a strange movie.
It's so stupid. Like, like they tried they saw Chainsaw 1 and 2, or they didn't, and we're just like,
let's go with didn't.
Let's just cuckoo bananas. Okay, like whatever's the scariest. Oh, what's really scary? Oh, how about a little girl who likes killing people? No, it has to be a little cute Little House on the Prairie girl.
And she can't be into killing people. She's got to be into like just playing with dead bodies.
Yeah,
first.
playing with dead bodies. She's
got to ease into it.
That's dead.
She's not going to Viggo full scrim at first.
No. And she's like, his guts fell out of his dick. It's on my clips for sale site.
She is the definition of precocious. She's ahead of the game.
Yeah. She's pretentious in her precociousness.
Yeah, but they're clearly homeschooled, though.
Homeschool vibes. A little bit of regality, but not a whole lot.
You like that regality that's like science class was about how dinosaurs and people live together, if you know what I mean?
Like, turn to page 34 of your Bibles in our science class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was like, I want to do the sledgehammer because I'm really into Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, okay, so this movie started something that carried on to the next movie, which we'll talk about, which is apparently Chainsaw Family has graduated to gadgetry.
Oh, yeah.
And like there's like one member of the family who's like, he's like the Donatello Ninja Turtle of the family. He's like, I'm good with machineries and I'm a little kooky and I devised a sledgehammer machine and I bring you back
it's like a
Walkmans.
It's like a Pee Wee Herman Rube Goldberg device. They're like, oh, get the army man to fall around the cereal place and then this milk will drop until the weight gets it, and the sledgehammer.
With apologies to Paul Rubens, although he can't hear us anymore.
He never could. He's not.
Oh, that's also true. He was never a listener.
He was never a fan. Although, I don't know. He took it to the grave.
And then you had wheelchair mom who smoked too much, so she had a machine throat.
All implied. She could have had a throat accident. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like she fell on a chainsaw because they're just lousy with chainsaws.
She was really big into sports, and she invented opera football, which is where you throw the ball with your voice, and she pulled a throat string. She ruined her career.
Instead of a Hail Mary, it's an Ave Maria down the middle.
Whoa. Yeah. down the middle of her throat. And now she's like, oh, this is a constant reminder talking through this. It looked like one of those wireless phones, like when you break them open, it's just the little circle. Like
it looked like she took one of those like old prank hand buzzers and just like took it off, and they just stuck it to her throat, and they're like, talk like you need that. And so she would just push it and be like, hey, it's me.
Talk like nobody's watching.
I talk like nobody's listening. Always.
So family get totally shot up by Ken Foree, who comes in, which it's going through the same tropes as the previous two movies, where it's like, oh, she's tied up and they're all there being crazy.
Except this time there's a dude with a gun outside.
And a little girl. And he comes out and he just fucking blasts. He just lights them all up and they all die.
Yeah, he's like, I do love his devil may care attitude of like, you know what? I know that my friends that I just met who are innocent might be in here, but fuck it, dude. Like, I just need to like wipe the slate clean.
Fuck it, dude. Life's a risk.
Look, there may be delicious bits of stew in this bowl, but I'm running it through the dishwasher anyway because I need the bacteria gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he murders up everybody. Mama dies. Little girl, MIA. We never see her for the remainder of the movie.
She grows up to be Renee Zellweger.
Wait.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. So the only person who makes it out alive, kind of, is Viggo Mortensen, who comes out and he's like, yo, bro, not cool. And then Ken Foree says,
"Oh shit, I'm not doing my Texan voice anymore."
Oh wait, whoops. Oh, howdy, stranger. I'm a guy who's from here in Texas. I rope the cattle. He points into his eyeball, and he gets totally set on fire by Ken Foree.
Totes.
Big mistake.
Yeah, getting set on fire. Big mistake.
He's hotter than a cat of nine tails who came out of a womb of a Chicago bear on fire. Woo! Chili's ready. So, but Leatherman is still alive, and he chases after Girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, where do I go? How about this pond?" Where people were murdered earlier. Remember when the fucking crazy guy from Gas Station Land, he was like just throwing body parts into it?
Yeah, oh, and he was griping and grousing the whole time. He was just like, he was doing it the same way that like you've been at a job like a year too long and you're like, God damn it, I am so tired. I swear to God, if Linda sends me one more fucking email about the daily sales report, I'm going to lose my shit. But he's throwing human body parts.
Not even all. He takes a hand out. He's like, this fucking hand. And he throws it in there. He takes out a leg. And he's like,
that's right. He's
leg.
complaining as if Linda from accounting is each body part. Like, oh, this stupid. You fucking are. Like, I'm supposed to throw away each femur. I'm like, oh, God, this is a.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I bet you had tendonitis. Well, it doesn't matter to you, does it? Because I'm the one disposing of it. Fucking.
Yeah, if Linda sent an email just saying like, oh, fucking Linda sending me an email asking if I used the microwave yesterday.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm a vegan.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I heated up my striped bass in the microwave, but do I not have a right to be a pescatarian at work? Anyway, this fucking torso is heavy as fuck. I'm the only one that can deal with this.
He just had a hand, a leg, and a head, and he
oh my God,
that's the head.
That's like almost a KFC bucket. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking nothing could top Leatherface, a.k.a. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, in terms of star power, because it did have Viggo Mortensen. Think again, Ace, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation stars Sir Matthew McConaughey and Dame Renee Zellweger in the final film we'll be talking about this eve.
The final nail in the coffin of the Chainsaw Man.
That was terrible, but I don't care. We're rolling with it, and this is part of it too.
This is all part of it, guys. We don't rehearse this.
I'm doing justice to the quality of the movie
doing
right now.
Fine. You can't have a good intro for a bad movie, okay? You just can't.
Guys, Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation. Let's talk about it for some reason.
Yeah. We're doing it. Get ready.
This movie is about a real estate woman that likes flashing college kids her fake tits.
Okay, wait a minute. That's what
That's what
This
I
is a little
took from.
story.
That's what I took from the movie because she brings it up a lot.
You know, for a movie called Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, you wouldn't think the movie would be about a real estate lady flashing teens.
But let me tell you something. She loves it.
She does it like a chore.
Like,
But
well,
she does
just gotta calm these kids down with my knockers.
The response is a rock gets thrown through her window, and she goes, well,
Better break out my fun bags.
gotta show them the golden bozos. Hey.
Yeah, I like it.
They like it.
Yeah, when people vandalize your property, it's probably time to show them the gazongas.
Oh, yeah. Every time my house gets broken into, I put my dick out.
Now, I know what you're thinking. No, Renee Zellweger is not that character.
No.
Renee Zellweger is...
Wegger.
I'm sorry, Dame Renee Zellweger is...
Del, you're getting a Zell.
I'm saying... Ooh, Zell's good. That's a money transfer service.
Yeah.
She invented it. She is a high school senior, assumedly, maybe a sophomore.
Well, yeah, they're at the prom.
And they're like going to prom, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's like get fucked up." And
oh my god,
and be at prom.
Oh my god, the dumb fucking guy who was cheating on girl, not Zell. We'll call her Zell. Girl
You guys following this?
is dumb, right? And dumb man is like making out with a girl, and he's like, "Oh, I just kissed her once."
Oh yeah, they're at the prom. He's outside behind like a pillar, where everyone is milling about, like mobbing down on this girl. Like he looks like he's like chewing on her Adam's apple. Yeah, she has an Adam's apple, but
that's fine.
he's like tasting her stomach acid in front of all these other co-students.
He's like mashing his gum
and then
in her
he's like,
gobstopper.
"Oh, I can't believe I got caught."
No, it's worse than that. He's not even like, "Oh no." He's like, "What's the big deal?
Quit being such a bitch."
I made out with one girl one time, not a big deal."
And the girl is in the background like, "Just to be clear, you made me pregnant with your tongue. You were making out with me so hard."
And so he gets in the car with her, and then also in the car was Zell and Boy, and it's like, okay, great.
Oh yeah, Zell's the nerd in this.
Yeah, she's a total nerd with her glasses.
Quote unquote. The nerd who's in the back seat making out and getting stoned.
Yeah.
It
was a different time.
If that was a nerd, then call me.
Well, no. We know nerds did
geek,
that because remember Teen Witch when Teen Witch went out with the dweeb cousin of a friend, and he was like, "Let's get high. I'm a nerd."
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm a total dweeb.
I'm Buddy Holly, but I snort coke, basically.
Like, you know, I know where the party is at. I know where you can get some skiing lessons. So
and then she's like, "I'm driving, you're drunk, and we're not happy now." And they get to chainsaws.
So yeah, they get to Chainsaw House, and Boy, we called him Boy Dumb, right?
Boy Dumb.
Dumb is like acting like it's fine.
There's two couples. There's Boy Dumb and Girl Dumb, and then there's Zell
and Boy.
Nerd Boy.
Nerd Boy.
And then they end up at Realtor's office in Real a Slut.
Yeah, in somewhere
Not
Texas.
slut shaming. She's literally flashing high school students when they're throwing rocks in her
and she's
window.
winking at cops while containing a dead body. And ordering pizza. That is so okay.
This movie's a fucking
Guys,
mess, dude.
We don't know. Like, we're gonna be jumping all around, but like she's like talking. Like, she mentions it so many times. She's like, "I'm ordering up the pizza because cannibals, they can't eat the same meal every day.
Dude, I mean, yeah.
Sometimes
you want to
they
eat chicken and rice for every meal?
Yeah, sometimes they want pizza. And she gets it for the exclusive reason to just have it and then warm it up later. Dude, that's a
trash move.
That's a pro tip.
Oh,
I do that because like sometimes I want to order out, but it's like, oh, this place closes at an unreasonable hour, like 9 or 10, and I'm like, I want to eat at 3 a.m.
Oh, that's different.
So
yeah.
I will order it and be like, I'm
that's
gonna throw it in the
stoner
oven.
drunk move, and I'm here for that.
Or a dolphin move if you read books.
A dolphin move?
Yeah, you don't read books that say, are you a dolphin or a lion or a bear?
I don't know what kind of fucking books your dyslexic ass is reading that
Well,
talk
because-
about dolphins and lions ordering pizza.
Dolphins don't sleep. They swim while they sleep.
Sleep for dolphins. Ow, now I remember that song. Yeah,
I'm a Beastie Boy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I am not.
That's why they had that
beastly.
name, because they were zoo-related songs.
So she gets these pizzas to eat later.
Yeah.
For her robot-legged brother.
No. Okay, so here, I'll try to clear it up real quick
Yes,
for
please.
everyone.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
when she goes, quote unquote, home to this disgusting chainsaw house, and let me tell you something, this house gets more disgusting with each movie. It's like they did not clean in between each movie, and now it's 30 fucking years later.
Oh, if I may say, just a little parenthetical there, I did notice the set design of the third movie where the house, I would just notice everything looked way too clean and everything looked way too purposed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, here's where all the skeletons are, but like the walls were clean and stuff. So like, I'm glad at least in this, the house really looked like a shithole.
Like I could smell it looking
Yeah.
at it. Yeah, in the third one, like you had skeletons like with their arm around each other, like with sunglasses on and stuff, and it was like, is that a bit you're doing right now?
And it was like, hey, I'm Skelly. Can I?
Yeah, they had little text bubbles attached to them. Yeah, like
No,
well, it beats working or whatever.
no skin off my back.
No bones about it. This is living or what, dying or what. It says all that with the ums and the dots.
Or like the classic one that's like, I'm a skeleton.
Classic skeleton humor.
Really great pun.
But it just looks like this looks like a place where squirrels would feel comfortable taking a shit on your plates. It was pretty gross. And she comes home and she's all put together in like this Jackie Brown power suit dyed pink. And she's like, oh, hey, it's me, Matthew McConaughey, with your weird robot
Wait,
leg.
she's
and also
Matthew
your bro. No, she's saying that. She's like, hey, Matthew McConaughey, with your weird robot leg with 3 remote controls.
No, it
for
was
some
a
reason.
box full of VCR remote
Well, but they didn't
controls.
all control his leg. They had to keep trying him to
if
see
the
which one
battery worked, it did. That's
Okay.
why he was talking about batteries.
So he had a weird Bane mechanical leg.
Yeah.
And
It just looked like a knee brace with duct tape and batteries attached to
anyway,
it.
she's like, hey, boyfriend, I brought pizza to our disgusting house that I can afford better, but for some reason I like living here with you, and let's eat here. Ugh. And she's like, later, like, gets mad at Robot Leg, and she's like, I can go back to my husband anytime. And you're like, wait, you have a different option than this? You don't have to live in a skunk's asshole?
Like, this is explained in the Expanded Universe books series.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the appendixes that went along with
it's
this
the book. It's the YA book series called Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, the book.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Jr.
It talks about all the characters in depth.
Man, R.L. Stein is running out of ideas.
And there's also like a hunky vampire because, I mean, all the YA novels have to have a vampire.
And it ends with a unicorn.
Yep. And not where you think.
That's right.
It's just one piece of corn. So, she's in the garbage house with Dum Dums and Chainsaw Man and Matthew Man. and he's like, hey, I'm crazy. AF.
He's
guys.
so mean and angry, and she's like, oh, I don't know why I love you. I'm going to heat up this pizza
Well,
in
hey,
the person microwave.
Well, it's all explained away by by Ring's belly guy who shows up.
So we're fast forwarding to the very end.
That's what I'm saying. This is, but I have to explain. This is why he's nuts because Brass Belly is like, hey, can you? Oh no, wait. This is more his accent. Hey, can you maybe be crazy man? I'm gonna give you a leg that's a robot.
So, in case for some reason you haven't seen this movie, which is crazy to me,
don't.
At the very end, Zell girl is sitting at the table, tied up, about to get grandpa'd or whatever.
Yeah,
and this man in a suit shows up at the door, and
with no sideburns.
The crazy Matthew McCrazy is like, yeah, come in, guy I know.
Yeah, he looks visibly afraid of him.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, it's Suit Man, and when Suit Man comes, the jig's up, and Suit Man comes in and he opens his shirt and he's got the phoniest baloney chest plate of he's got abs where abs don't exist. Like he's got like an 18-pack.
It's like if plastic was rubber.
Yeah, like if you were making rubber to mimic plastic to mimic flesh. And he's got 4 huge gold hoops like what you find in a bull's nose.
Yeah.
Like, like my nose ring is like 16 gauge. It's like a 000. Like it's the size of Lex Steele's cock. It's so wide. And he's got 4 of them. And then he's like, this is...
Each one is
spiritual.
A trophy.
This is so spiritual. And in case you're wondering, how does that get explained? It doesn't.
I gotta say though, the number one question this man gets asked, whether by normal people or family, you licked Renee Zellweger's face.
Oh, that's right. Because
what was that
then he
like?
walks up, he licks her face, and he's like, "All right, bye."
Yeah, he's like, "Are you pleased?
Yeah.
Are you scared?"
Now, in case you think our explanation doesn't make any sense, just watch the movie and tell us it makes less sense than the actual.
No, I would not urge you to watch any movie of this. Although I will say, because each of these movies have a redeeming factor. I mean, the first 2 are great. The third one sucks. Fourth one sucks. But the third one had the redeeming factor of Ken Foree and the rock smashing thing. Mm-hmm. But this one, Matthew McConaughey, he's just a good actor. Like he goes for it.
Yeah.
And it shows. And by that I mean he wasn't just 1,000% psycho, because when Brass Belly comes in, when Suit Man comes in, he's visibly like 180.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
He is a lapdog. But he's like, ooh, I have all this rage bubbling inside me, but I know you're the leader, and I have to fucking, you see, every fucking vessel in his body is ready to pop.
It's like a drill instructor shits in your mouth, but you got to take it. You're just, oh, sorry, yes, sir.
Well, it just so happens that the drill sergeant is made of candy corn, so it's like
it's not that bad, but it's still
exactly
it insults your manhood.
It really does.
Yeah,
I don't know why candy corn. I don't know why. So
it's
anyway,
Halloween.
So they're the teeth of witches, and they taste so. After Suit Man leaves, everything's awkward. It's like when your stepdad hits your mom and he plays it off like an accident, and you're just like, I can't finish my mashed potatoes, but I'm very hungry. And so Suit Man leaves, and Matthew McConaughey goes crazy and starts smashing up the skull of dumb girl.
Who was cheated on in front of her by dumb man who's already dead at this point.
Who is so dumb. The guy is so dumb that when dumb girl gets abducted and hooked, if you know what I mean, not on drugs or phonics, he's just so oblivious. And Mr. fucking quotes from a book if a boot's got a hole in it, then you've got a hole in your head. That's William Shakespeare there.
I forgot about this guy. Yeah, he was saying
guy.
all kinds of fucking
Fucking
shit.
hot nonsense, He's like,
dude.
he's like, if the grass don't fit, you must be a bitch. That's Ernest Hemingway Jr.
And she's like, I don't think that's accurate.
But anyway, back to dumb guy McProm man. He is like walking around, like he's escaping this guy with a shotgun, locks him out, right? And he's just like, well, time to take a piss somewhere.
Oh yeah, this guy's like so blasé. He is like if Ativan were a person. I mean, like he's just like, oh man, it's really weird. This place smells of fetid, rotten flesh.
This place is really weird.
Yeah.
There's like cobwebs.
It's almost like the writers were like, we really need to make it clear that this guy deserves to die.
Yeah. And then only does he find a skeleton puddle in the bathtub where he's like, oh shit, there's skeletons. my biggest fear.
Most uncomfortable cuddle puddle of all time.
I'm so allergic to skeletons.
My weakness.
It's inside
Bones.
me. And
I'm
then,
allergic to bones.
And he tries to leave, and he totally gets hammer timed by Leatherman, who is like divine in this movie. And I'm not saying that as a description. I mean,
oh, you don't mean like the famous drag queen divine?
No, I do mean that.
Oh,
I'm saying
he's
they
big
weren't
and brassy.
Yeah, the director was like, okay, you're divine, except you have a chainsaw. Scream every moment you're on camera.
Yeah, he was fully regal in this movie.
Oh my God.
And he was like not actually that important in this movie at
No,
all, really.
like
He was very much an
secondary.
afterthought.
Yeah. And just screaming all the time.
This
God.
movie does not feel like it was written as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Especially when you bring in the secret cabal brass belly guy,
Which
who's
also,
like,
by the way, very Hellraiser-y.
Very Hellraiser-y.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is just a X-Files situation.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
Smoking
crazy.
man's in the corner like,
Yeah.
That's what he's always doing. He's like, totally.
Get scared.
Yeah. Cigarettes are great.
Did you know he doesn't actually smoke? He used to. So Zell Gal, she escapes from this house like 100 times, and then she gets captured every time.
Except for the last time.
Except for the last time when she does escape, and she finds a what is that called? A house that's a car.
I think it's called a house car.
It's a house car. She's like, oh my God, a house car, open up for me.
This old couple who's drinking Bloody Marys while they're driving in the middle of nowhere and call each other Mr. and Mrs. their last name, which is like
Butterbottom
Blabbledoll or whatever. Yeah.
Smothers or something.
Here you go, Mr. Carrubbledoo. And he's like, thanks, Mrs. Blaggadoo. They have different last names. They're actually cheating on a torrid house car affair.
Well, that, annoying as that may be, the worst part of it is when Chainsaw Man is chainsawing and Zell is like, I need to get in. And they're like, oh my God, they let him in. And there's a chainsaw monster guy. And she's like, oh, there's some kind of monster out there. Hit it, Mr. So-and-so. It's like, really? You're still going to go with the pet name during this? You're going to be like, oh my God, fucking Phil, hit the fucking, shoot it, gun it.
That was definitely the couple that owned the land that they filmed on. And they were like, I don't want to let you use this land for something.
For nothing.
Something bad, like scary times. And they're like, what if you're in the movie? Like, hoping they decline. And they were like, oh, wouldn't that be great fun, Mr. Rogan Black or whatever?
And they're like,
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Chainsaw Man gets away and he wins.
Yep.
No. You.
So Zell, she gets away from Chainsaw Guy. Old couple dies appropriately.
Yeah.
And she gets picked up by a limo with Hellraiser ring toss
belly man, brass belly,
and he's like, I'm sorry, don't be mad, it's fine. Just trying to make you have a spiritual experience. Where do you want me to drop you off?
Yeah, you want to go to the cops or the hospital?
What?
And then she goes to the hospital and she sees Sally from the first movie and she looks at her and Zell is like, who's that lady? She looks familiar. And the guy's like, oh, you don't know her?
She was involved in he looks at the camera, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
One. And then she's like, what? And then she looks at the camera and goes, wait, what? What?
She goes, oh, brother.
Dun, dun, and the camera like goes wibbly wobbly, and she's like, oh. But anyway, 10 out of 10.
So now it's time for us to pick our order of favorites from best to worst.
Best to
Because
worst.
if you listened to us last year, you know we did it backwards once and then stuck with it.
No, it's a clean slate. It's a clean plate of
That's right.
dead
So
bodies.
we're doing it again, best to worst.
Yes.
Okay, Jono,
Yes.
please do me and the lovely spectators the supreme honor of listing your Texas Chainsaw favorites from best
To
from
not so.
most chainsaws to least chainsaws.
Like if I'm like, this movie gets 4 chainsaws or 10. All right, here, I'm going to give you the best of the worst. It's going to be really easy and really fast. Okay. Chainsaw 2 is my number 1 pick.
Okay. That's
Classic. I
would
love
be
it.
surprising if I didn't know you so well.
Chainsaw 2 is my number 1, just like Friday 6 is my number 1, right? If you check out the Friday the 13th episode. But because there's humor there. There's a little
Okay,
like,
yeah.
they're having fun with it.
A little head eating.
Yeah. A little head cheese
Self-head eating.
2, you're going to hate me forever and ever and
Too
ever.
late. I already do.
Number 4.
Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
Look, I saw number 4 when I was young and just thought it was the greatest thing ever. It was
Oh,
so
that explains
funny.
so much.
Well, I mean, like when Renee Zellweger, when she's like walking out on the family, and then Chainsaw Man is like, ah, she's like, you shut the fuck up. That's like the funniest fucking thing ever. It's so dumb, but I mean, look what I have to work with here. So yeah, Chainsaw 2, Chainsaw 4, Chainsaw 1, my third favorite.
Oh my God.
And here's why, lovely spectators. Just real quick. 4 and 1 are almost equal, but what kind of loses it for me with 1 is it's kind of arduous to watch. It's kind of a gore fest, and I'm not a huge gore fest person, but the last like 5 minutes kind of make it a little better than 4. But again, it's
oh
the
my
last.
God.
Well,
That's like the craziest thing I've ever heard you say.
I don't mean that like as in 4 is better because of it. I just mean like my pick is 4 being better overall, and with 1 overall. But the last 5 minutes of 1 is just so good because
Sure.
Sally's acting, like her being crazy in the back of the truck and everything. Oh my God, it's like it's so memorable and so amazing. But you have to get through just like so many long drawn out scenes, and like Franklin just sucks, and like it's not funny, it's not
Good old
interesting.
sausage cigar. Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. And then of course, if you really want to know what my 4th pick,
I bet I can guess.
it's going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Oh, whoa. Not on the table.
Not even on. No, is 3. Which is tough because I do love Ken Foree, but it's not enough to match just the insanity of like Matthew McConaughey and like just how fun the 4th one is. But yeah, that's
You mean your number 2 pick?
my number 2 pick.
You fucking
Look,
degenerate.
They're all equal. Like Chainsaw 2 is like by a bullet the
Did you
best.
say they're all equal?
Well, what I mean, they're close. Like Chainsaw 2 is by a bullet. I don't even have to think about it. But like when it's like 4, 1, 3, it's like the difference between 5 points or 100. I don't know, because 3 is bad.
Big difference. Okay.
So Conrad, how is your list looking? Cooking?
Well, since I'm not an insane person,
You're just
my
gonna go
list,
in order.
literally, it's very simple. My order
Oh my God.
is the order of release.
Oh, God damn it.
The first one is my favorite. It's super iconic. It's very creepy. It's lo-fi. It's a very unique. I'm good with gore. I really liked it. 2
I'm good with gore.
was funny. It was, still gory. It was not as good, but, they mentioned the Texas OU game, which is a nightmare in real life, in IRL, as you guys know it. You know what? Actually, I am going to switch 4 and 3.
Oh.
4 is number 3 because it was hilarious, even though it was really fucking bad.
Yeah.
And I also like it just because I like Hellraiser so much. It almost made me feel like there was a little Hellraiser in it. And then, I will agree with you. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, that is the worst of this bunch, for sure.
It is.
For sure. It's borderline unwatchable.
It's so, oh my God, it's so dumb.
And it's so, like I said, dark, like lighting-wise, that a third of the movie, I couldn't even tell what was going on. And I just got my prescription renewed, so...
No, yeah, it feels like a rush job. Like they were like,
what is this, some kind of rush job?
Like they were like,
That's Vigo.
We're going to lose the rights to Texas Texas Chainsaw 2022, where it's like, we're going to lose the rights. We need to make the movie. Who cares? And
this is like Sony made it.
Yeah. When it's called Leatherface, which makes it feel like, are they trying to reinvent the genre?
Or like it was going to be like an origin story.
Yeah, as if like, ooh, the
Leatherface.
next movie is
barely even important.
It's going to be like a Rambo situation. The fourth movie is going to be called Leatherface 2 or whatever,
Well, it's like I always say, the Saws family.
You do say that like
a lot.
Very oddly enough.
Yeah.
And you've never even seen the movies.
What?
Well, you heard it here, folkies. Texas Chainsaw Man movies are Massacre. And if you never knew that, what?
Folks, if you would like to hear us do a specific battle, you have thoughts for us, probably thoughts for fucking Jono's order of these movies, please drop us a line, battles@filmfightspodcast.com. Film Fights Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook. Please make sure you're rating, subscribing, reviewing on iTunes. It helps us out a lot. And, it's basically, it's all good. Just don't be chainsaws.
It's Saw good, like the movie.
Yeah.
Listen, chainsaw or no chainsaw? That is the question. But no.
That's Bill Shakespeare right there.
Look, snuggle up in your human skin blanket and put on a face mask. Wink. Throw on a chainsaw. Like
not a movie, just start a chainsaw.
Just throw it
They
on.
go without you touching them, apparently.
They do, yeah. Like if you're like, hey, I need to saw my my wardrobe.
It'll solve all your problems.
So just put it on the top of it and just let go. It'll saw through while you can run other important errands while you saw your wardrobe.
It's a problem that comes up often.
It is. It's the plot of many Ernest movies. So, and I don't mean like Ernest the guy. I mean like you really want to make a movie and you call it Ernest Goes to Camp. Bye!
I don't know if you know this, Jono, but if you record something, it's real. So everyone be responsible with your recorded wishes.
Yes.
Please.
Please and thank you. And yes, Conrad is right. Like if we're saying it's right, we're probably right, you know?
Who are you?
Like if you're like a lovely spectator that's like, candying their movie selection. If you don't know.
Wait, they're like covering it in sugar and putting it in the oven?
No, I mean, they're like in a candy shop. They're like, I want the Skittles and I want the. And you're like, oh, Jaws and Jeepers Creepers and.
Yeah, and we're like, don't be a horror diabetic.
No, do not eat too many movies because we know what happened to the Gremlins.
Rectal bleeding.
When they ate movies after midnight.
Oh, that's right. They became Siskel and Ebert. And they're both dead, so...
Yeah. Hey,
just
lesson learned.
Hey, you know what? Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Just know that Gremlin lifestyle is not for you.